our meeting objectives is we are going to divide the next 30 minutes into 3 sections. The first one will be handled by me, and our goal, as always, for Smart Bean meeting is to collectively share and learn from one another. So, audience, attendees, your participation is huge. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end, so please ask your questions. For this meeting, though, we will focus on practical tips to help you cut costs and boost your profitability before year end. And we literally have 30 working days, everybody. It's scary, but we have basically 2.5 weeks to do that. 2.5 months, sorry. Then Craig will share with us some strategy on how to finish the year strong and get ready and start 2026 fast. And then, of course, we have Q&A. So make sure you can either put your question in the chat, and our Beans will be filtering the question and let us know. All right, so let's get right into it. The Beans, if there's any question that you think is so relevant that you should stop me, please go ahead and stop me and ask the question. Thank you. All right, so cut costs. I basically divided this area into 2 categories, basically. If you've had a stellar year where your profits, your net profits, you expect to be much better than the prior year, then my one suggestion, if you haven't done so, is to do some tax planning, right? So make sure you meet with your CPA. If you haven't, you have to meet with your CPA and your financial planner ASAP, like in November, because if you wait longer, you might not be able to do some of the things that you need to do. And a quick tips on this. The guy that opened your IRA at the bank is not your financial planner, okay? So if you have a small business owners, maybe you've had your retirement plan here and there, you're saving money here and there. It is now time to consolidate and have a holistic approach. Have a financial planner that you trust, that are qualified, that's knowledgeable, to basically look at the full pictures of all your finances and see how to best strategize for your retirements and especially for taxes, for tax purposes. So if you need recommendation for that, please let me know. All right, so in terms of tax planning, some of the things that your CPA might be discussing with you is prepay expenses. So if you have a great year this year, right, and you're not sure how next year is going to be, so the focus for this year, though, is just to lower your taxes. And the way to lower your taxes is to lower your net income by increasing your expenses. So just look at, most, if not all, vendors will probably be very happy for you to prepay them. So if you have a vendors that is your partners, that you trust, that you'll be using, call them, negotiate to prepay your expenses, because the majority of you, my clients, are cash basis clients. So cash basis accounting methods. So that means that, your expenses count when you pay it, right? So you just pay it now, use it next year. That's what help. Retirement plan, if you're a solo or you're a fully S Corp owner with no employees, solo K is a great way to put a lot of money away and, basically tax defer. Know your numbers. So you guys are Smart Bean clients. I appreciate that. And I hope that you are reading your financial statement that we send to you every month. So know your numbers. This is the time to reach out to us and have a meeting to review your financials. The Beans are on the call today. So look at them, message them, schedule a meeting, ask them questions, know where you are at. Now, obtain a business line of credit. I can't tell you how many people have thanked me for this advice, because when you need the money, when you need the cash, the bank won't give it to you, right? So when you are doing well, you have a great year, obtain a line of credit, and it's a business line of credit to make things a lot easier in terms of writing off the interest. And the nice thing about the line of credit is that if you don't use it, you don't pay for it, right? Sometimes the bank would charge a couple $100 a year to have the line of credit, but if you have a good relationship with your banker, most of the time they can waive it for you. So obtain that line of credit if your business has been great this year, the last few years. All right, so that's all the good news for the business that have been done great. Now I have clients, and Smart Bean included. This year has been challenging for us because of the adjustment, because of everything that's going on. It's affecting each industry, each businesses differently. But if you find yourself having a tough time this year, then the name of the game is manage your cash flow, right? So I have done this myself for Smart Bean. And what I've done is I know my numbers. I look at, we have a pretty good bookkeeper. So we look at all our financials. And what I have noticed is our software expense, our IT expenses have gone up exponentially, meaning like 30, 40% over the last 3 to 5 years. Outrageous. And what I've also noticed is that a lot of these software have cross functionality that we are not using. So my advice to you, an example for us would be, we've been using Calendly, right, to schedule appointments. And we use Microsoft Office as our suite of software. Microsoft have booking, which came included with our service already. We haven't been using that, right? So it is a change that we have to make. And some of I slowly make that transition, but that is an example. Now we can cancel Calendly, use booking, a software that we already are paying for. Another area is inactive user accounts. So for companies that have multiple employees with multiple user account, you will be surprised by how many account that you might have not used anymore might be inactive, but they are still being charged for it. These are small amount, but it adds up. Like even the $20 a month is $20 too much you are paying. Recurring expenses too is, things that you see charged to, oh, I see this. And I'm sharing this because many of you are sole proprietorship, and you see this is, your Apple charges, right? And you need to know what they are and just make sure that sometime you sign up for, to do something. Let's say you sign up for HBO just to see one show and then you forgot to cancel it. So those things adds up. Please look at those recurring expenses. I know that for Smart Bean, we do your business. We track your business expenses. We also have, for our existing clients, we do offer a master plan. We call it the mastery plan, where we track your personal expenses, income and expenses. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us and we'll discuss that with you. But that help you also manage your income and expenses, your personal income and expenses as well. Okay, I'm going to go by pretty quick because I think I'm running out of time. Evaluate insurance policy. This is something I'm sure you've heard of it before. And if you haven't, please reach out to your broker. And if you don't have one, let me know, because insurance doesn't matter whether you have a broker or you don't. The insurance, the carriers charge you the same premium amount. So it's better to have a broker. So basically somebody who work for you, do shopping for you rather than going direct. Because some people have this false understanding that if you go direct to the carrier that you get a better pricing. That is not true. So make sure that you have a broker to shop for your insurance policy, especially looking at the coverage, right? Do you actually need all that coverage? If your business have changed, maybe you change the amount of liability, but look at to make sure you shop for insurance. Credit card fees. This is the one area that really hurting me, hurting my clients. I hate paying credit card fees so much. Now, one thing I will point out to you is QuickBooks payment, which a lot of you guys are using, is convenient, right? Because it's within QuickBooks, you already have the software. But please know that QuickBooks payment is independent of QuickBooks software, accounting software. Two is completely different. QuickBooks Payment is a credit card merchant service, and they are convenient but expensive. I have been shopping, and I have a couple vendors that are giving me proposal that are saving us money. So if you're interested, again, reach out to me. I'll share that information with you. If you only do a few invoices a month, then QuickBooks payment might be okay, just because it's for convenience, not worth it, but it's worth it to take a look. My other advice is pay cash when you can and send the receipt to SmartBean. So in the past, I'm like, this is more work for the bookkeeper, right? Because if you pay cash, you send us the receipt, we have to manually entering that information into QuickBooks for you. But that's our job. We're the bookkeeper. So pay cash when you can, because a lot of time when you pay cash, you can save on the credit card fees, right? So utilize that. Take a picture of the receipt, email it to your client service rep, will record it for you. Pay cash when there's an advantage of not having to pay the fees. This one is almost like an emotional thing where I talk to our clients who would say, "Oh, I want to pay off this card or this debt first because I only have $1,000 left on it." Right? No, it doesn't matter because that's still all your money. Pay off the higher interest account first. Right? You have somebody like us who manage your business credit cards. It doesn't matter what the balance is, just pay off the higher credit card first, because just a smart way of spending your money. This last item, I save it for last because it is, how do I say that? A little sensitive and risky, and a lot of people are going to maybe disagree with me. But if you are a sole owner of your business and your business is the sole income of your family, you might want to consider a second mortgage rather than having all these credit card debt, right? Yesterday, the Fed lowered the interest rate again. They are probably will lower it more in the next few months. Um, Consider a second. If you have the first mortgage and really low interest and you don't want to touch this, that's fine. Consider a second mortgage. Take out the second mortgage to pay off the high credit card debt's car. Makes sense in a lot of cases. So those are my few tips and tricks, and I hope that if you can walk away with one thing you will implement to save you money, that would make me very excited. All right, so any questions so far? No? Good?
Terry had asked if we have recommendations for insurance brokers. I mentioned that we did, but
Uh-huh.
to reach out to us independently so that we can listen to what their specific insurance needs, and then we can make those recommendations accordingly. And that goes across, any service provider. Do you need a new CPA? Do you need, payroll? Let us know. We want to serve as a resource for all our clients.
Yes, we get the advantage of being able to see, connect and see and interview and work with a lot of different vendor and CPA through our clients. So we'd love to share that knowledge with you. All right, so now please allow me to introduce our guest speaker for today. So I was focusing on the bottom, the expenses, and Craig is now going to focus on the top line of helping you grow in revenue. So everybody, please welcome Craig.
Thank you, Lisa. Love the presentation. I think the line or mantra that stood out to me is know the numbers.
Mhm.
I think we lost the slides, but I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to kind of dive into mindset, productivity. What can we do to finish the year strong and build the momentum for 2026? Because I think that really starts now. We are entering into the busy holiday season, but let's not fall into the busyness trap and mistake a full calendar and tons of meetings and events as productivity, right? So when in actuality, that's misalignment. So my goal for the next 10 minutes is to get you aligned with your targets, with your goals, so you can hit those before year end and hit the ground running in 2026. So I want you to write down, this is going to be a little bit interactive or mini workshop style, as Lisa knows I like to do. I want you to write down one time leak that is derailing your day and your week that you will eliminate for the next 30 years or 30 years, 30 days. So think about where you're spending your time. Look at your calendar. What's unnecessary? What can you potentially delegate, delete, delay, or automate? Hopefully you probably have more than one idea, but let's hone in on one. So I mentioned a couple D's. So do, delegate, delete, delay. A lot of times we keep adding things to our to-do list. If we can knock it out in 2 minutes or less, and it's a quick win, it takes less brain capacity just to do it rather than tracking it, having to go back and do it later. Delegate. We've all heard that. It's easier said than done. So you need to know, who are you going to delegate to? By when does it need to be completed? And what's your definition of done? Not the person you're delegating it to. So there needs to be clear communication around, this is what I expect and when. Delete it. So these are the low value tasks that you find yourself spending time on, but it's not really adding any value. That could be something like your personal email inbox that's got 100 spam emails in it every day, and you're spending 15, 20 minutes clearing it, right? And then finally, delay. So for the things that aren't urgent and aren't critical, but need to get done at a later timeline, put reminders on your calendar so that you don't have to keep remembering and writing it down and creating a new post-it note or to-do list that's repetitive. So what's an example of how you can put this into practice, practically speaking? So if you have a team or employees, are you having weekly or daily status meetings that are 30 or 60 minutes long? How about replacing that with a quick, short written or even recorded check-in that your team provides to you or your team leads provide to you, and then you have the flexibility to review that on your own time? Removing one 60-minute meeting, if 5 or 10 people are in that meeting, that's removing 5 to 10 hours a week. What can you be doing that's more productive with those 5 to 10 hours? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't have any meetings. If you need to have critical decisions made on a timely basis, then schedule a short live in-person or virtual huddle to get the decision processed and action moving forward. But don't mistake kind of meetings and status for productivity. So Lisa had some great mantras. One or two mantras I want to leave with you right now are: do less better, right? Focus on the 20% that's going to drive 80% of your results. As owners, as leaders, it's our job to lean into our strengths, our creative geniuses, and outsource or hire or delegate for our weaknesses. It's extremely difficult to grow and scale your business when you're running around wearing 10 different hats. So saying no, especially in this upcoming holiday season, is very powerful. We need to protect our calendar, our time, and focus on our critical priorities. So if you haven't already, pick that one time leak that you're going to eliminate for the next 30 days. All right, so now I'm going to move on to going from owner to leader. So a couple mindset shifts. How can we be more strategic rather than reactive? How can we be more energized rather than drained? How can we be the leader for ourselves, for our business, for our team, rather than the owner operator that feels like they're doing everything themselves, that has to continue grinding and work more? The goal here is to get more done and focus on what matters without adding hours to your schedule. Actually, we're trying to remove hours and free that up and redeploy that to what really matters. So I want you to think about from your business, you know it best, what are the 3 key metrics that you control or that you need your team to be laser focused on between now and the end of the year? And be as specific as possible. Write these down as well. If it's sales, what specifically is it within sales? If it's operations or client customer service, make it measurable. If it's cash flow, again, make it specific. So I'm a firm believer in execution and creating a weekly scorecard, because if you don't know your numbers, if you're not tracking your numbers, how do you know the results that you're getting and whether you're staying on course and on track or not? So once you've got your three metrics, I want you to maybe even narrow that down into the top 1 that you're going to focus on between now and the end of the year, and set the scoreboard. Gamify it, as they say, right? So what is the sales metric? And create the target on a weekly basis so that it's something you and your team can track and stay motivated towards.
Yeah, if I may, Craig, in this area, every time my clients, every time I meet with you, I always focus on knowing your break even. Like how many clients, how much money do you need to make per month just to break even? And so if you know that, it's like setting goals and then extending it feels good too. So you have, okay, I need to bring in $5,000 or I need to see 10 clients a month to make the break even. Once you hit that, celebrate. Hey, I got it, and it's only the half of the month. I still have another half of the month. Now I'm gonna make these money above and beyond what is for me to be in business. Now, and it feels good and it gives you the boost because Greg, a lot of my clients are individual sole proprietorship and it's
Yeah.
lonely. No one is like, applause you for doing a great job. So you have to kind of create that yourself. And so know that numbers, know
Yeah.
your minimum, hit that as soon as you can. And then the rest of the month, you feel like, okay, everything I do from this point forward is just good stuff, like just, bonus. And it feels nice. Feel like you're moving your company forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. So knowing kind of the end goal and then reverse engineering that, right? So if you know how many customers or clients you need to get, from there, how many sales meetings do you need to schedule? How many people do you need to talk to? How many proposals do you need to send out? So kind of working backwards, because at the end of the day, sales is a numbers game. So having kind of the metric, the scoreboard, as I call it, keeps you focused. And I think, at least you alluded to, as solopreneurs, it's easy to negotiate with ourselves and not be as diligent with our time or surgical with our time. So the key is really consistency here and tracking it. So a powerful thing that I like to do every week is on Fridays, schedule a quick weekly review. It could be as short as 5, 10, 15 minutes, reviewing the metrics, looking at the numbers. How many clients did you close? How many meetings did you schedule? How many appointments did you actually have? And then setting the goals for the next week and putting that on your calendar, right? So creating time blocks, ideally 60, 90 minutes. I think a lot of managing our time is about managing our energy. So think about, for you, when are you at your peak performance? Are you a morning person? Are you a late morning person, right? So schedule those time blocks for your highest leverage, hardest things, right? They say eat the frog in the morning. Get the hardest thing out of the way so that you feel accomplished by early afternoon. So how do you avoid burnout, right? I'm talking about kind of sprinting, tracking numbers daily. Maybe this is sounding exhausting to you, but I think burnout tends to come when we're doing things that are misaligned with our goals. And again, we're mistaking busyness for productivity. So think about that one leak and that one metric. Those are your dominoes. Once you knock those over or eliminate them, everything else gets easier. In some cases, things become unnecessary. That's how you free up time in your schedule. So I will leave us there. I know we didn't save a lot of time for Q&A, but I'll hand it back to Lisa and happy to answer any questions or connect with folks afterwards. Here's my contact information. Happy to
Thank
answer any
you,
questions.
Greg.